All right, so let's talk about training today. Let's talk about optimum versus maximum training frequency. Okay. The reason why I'm talking about this right now is because I posted a video and I was answering comments, and someone commented on another video that I made a while ago, okay, about split routines versus whole body routines. And basically what it came down to is, the guy says he likes working Monday, Wednesday, Friday, okay? And I said, okay, fine, if it works for him, that's great. What I like to do is I like to really work a muscle group, like upper or lower body. And I like to do it Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So instead of having like Monday a workout and then you work out the same thing on Wednesday, it's like Monday you do upper body, Tuesday, Wednesday you have off, Thursday you hit upper body, Friday, Saturday, Sunday you have off. Okay, so you get more more days off. And this guy's saying, I know he trains more frequently though. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's 3 full body workouts, so he hits every muscle. 3 times a week, where I only hit it 2. And I'm like, all right, well, it just so happens, I'm not a scientific kind of guy, I'm more of a bro scientist, but it just so happens that Brad Schoenfeld, like right before I saw this guy's comment, I was in an Instagram and I saw that Brad Schoenfeld said something about a seminar he's doing and yada, and he said basically that the overwhelming majority of studies show that there's not much benefit, if any, to training more often, training a muscle more often than twice a week. Okay. And he's like, well, I disagree with his opinion. Okay, well, it's not Brad's opinion. It's basically his science. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of science, but that's, scientific studies that were compiled, and several of them, okay? But the point that I'm trying to make here is this, because the guy said, well, he's like, well, I disagree with Brad because, what about prisoners who do like push-ups and pull-ups and shit like this every day? Okay, so first of all, let me just say, I actually know people who worked in prisons. Okay, I know a lot of people who worked in prisons here in North Florida. As a matter of fact, I know people that knew the guys from, like the actual guys from Pain and Gain. Okay, the guys at Marky Mark and, the other, guy, whatever, the other guys played in that movie. And like, okay, so they said like those guys were in shape, and yes, they did hit the pull-up bars a lot. But most of the prisoners are not in shape, okay, first of all, okay? And second, like I know, I was talking to some people, they would have like, people who would help them, like this prisoner was basically your helper. That was his job instead of working in the cafeteria. And there was one guy who helped, people in the office, and, they'd be working. If they didn't need him to actually do something, he'd be just on the floor doing push-ups, push-ups, push-ups. And he was just an old guy, tough as nails, something happened. It was like a racial thing back in the day, back years and years ago, where there weren't a whole lot of rights for black people down in the South. And he got fucked up with like a white woman or something like this. And he just got like a really major sentence that he could never get away from. But, like it wasn't his fault, whatever happened was bullshit, racial, but he's in fucking prison for life now. And like I said, he would just, do like sit-ups, 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 or if they didn't need him, where is he? Oh, he's off in the corner doing like push-ups, push-ups, push-ups. So now let's talk about like the difference between optimal and maximal training frequency, because this reminds me of when I was a kid. We were talking about, when I was a young man in the Army, I was really into running. Scott Tinley's Winning Guide to Sports Endurance was my favorite book. I read it cover to cover a million times back then. I read runner magazines. God forbid, I knew somebody, he went to college, but he was an enlisted guy. He was an E4. He was on the running team when he was in school. I drilled him. I like picked his brains with a fucking scalpel about everything about running and training. So the point is, back then, there was a lot of talk about 100-mile-a-week runners, okay, guys who ran 100 miles in 7 days for training. And the whole concept came down basically at some point that it was less of like these guys are good runners because they run 100 miles a week, and it was more of a fact of they have to be good runners to be able to run. Like they're good runners despite the fact that they run 100 miles a week. What it basically comes down to is there's a maximum that your body can hold out, okay, without fucking dying, maximum amount, maximum volume, maximum intensity of training. And then there's also the optimal amount, the optimal frequency, the optimal volume, the optimal intensity for training. So a lot of people, especially when they're young, and I was there myself when I was young, look into shit like, well, how often can I train? How many sets can I do? how many can I do? But the question is, whatever your goal is, strength, size, endurance, whatever, what is the optimal amount? Okay, so like I said, what you're getting into right now is, now I'm not saying that this guy's not getting results working out 3 times a week, but is he getting more results than he would if he worked out, if he worked out twice a week? Okay, these prisoners, okay, who, like I said, there aren't that many guys in shape in prison, but there are prisoners who are in shape that do pull-ups and push-ups and burpees and squats and everything a million times a day, every single day, okay? But is this a matter of, like, are they, if they were to work out less often, less volume, fewer, not necessarily fewer reps, but if they did less volume and less frequency, would they be in the same shape they are now? I mean, is it just because, like, I remember Kali Muscle talked about what it was like to be in prison. He's like, yeah, somebody asked you how many push-ups you did, and you didn't say at least however many hundred, he's like, you weren't a real man. You had no respect. So it's like, so it goes beyond like, okay, I want to get in shape, so I have to do 500 push-ups a day. It's like, okay, I'm in motherfucking prison. What am I going to do? Well, they end up doing 500 push-ups a day because they're bored. They want to burn off some energy. They want to fucking, escape. It's more of like wasting time. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. What I'm saying is, like I said, just because somebody is capable of running 100 miles a week in training, does it mean he's in better shape or he could perform better in a race than if he ran a lot less? Okay, just because somebody works out 3 times a week, are they necessarily getting a better workout than, or are they stronger? Are they bigger or whatever? Are they getting better results than if they had worked out less often? So like I said, this is what you talk about when you talk about the optimal amount of training versus the maximal amount of training. Like I said, intensity, volume, frequency, whatever you want to talk about. It's like, how many calories can I take in? There's a point at which you're not going to force your muscles to grow, okay? All you can do is break your muscles down in the gym and then feed them the optimal amount. If you feed them any more, you're gonna get fat, okay? You cannot force your body to grow. Okay, so like I said, whether it's training volume, training intensity, training frequency, macronutrient, total calories, whatever it is, there's an optimal amount. Once you go past that, you have, if anything, you have like fewer and fewer results as you go past this line. Okay, the law of diminishing returns. So like I said, that's basically just what I wanted to talk about. When you try, don't look at necessarily the maximal, look at the optimal amount. And for me, this is a really big deal because I'm only working out my muscles. Each muscle I'm working out twice a week. But by doing this, okay, so I'm not doing a full body workout. I'm doing upper body, lower body, 4 workouts a week, 2 upper body, 2 lower body. Now, what this allows me to do is when I go ahead and I do my heavy ass squats and then my heavy ass deadlifts, like, that's hard. Okay, so I only have 2 exercises in that day, like weight exercises, that I really have to fucking get through, so I could concentrate on that. Now, if I was to go ahead and do my upper body too, I would not be able to work it with the same intensity. Like, I can't go into the gym scared to do my squats and scared to do my deadlifts and scared to do my weighted pull-ups and scared to do my weighted dips, and scared to do this and scared to do that. I basically just go into the gym and I'm like, okay, this is gonna suck. I'm gonna go through this one set of 20 rep fucking breathing squats and I'm gonna get through it. I'm gonna do 5 sets of deadlifts, but only like 1 or 2 of these sets are gonna be really heavy. It's really gonna suck. So it allows me, like I said, it's the optimal amount for me, and it still allows me to get in like the best workout possible. If I were to work out 3 times a week, full body, I'd be like, I wouldn't be able to push it as hard in the squats, because in the back of my head it's like, God, I still got deadlifts, then I got dips, then I got weighted pull-ups, and this is going to take forever, and then after that I still need to do my cardio, and then after that I still need to do my weighted abs. Whereas over here, like I said, I do like upper body, 2 exercises, heavy, hard, and then I do my cardio. Lower body, heavy, hard, 2 exercises, then I do my cardio. Wednesday and Saturday I do weighted abs, heavy, hard, then I do my cardio. And that's obviously a lot easier. I mean, I just do hanging leg raises and ab wheel rollouts and maybe a couple other weighted exercises. So what I'm saying is, it's like, hard. Wednesday and Saturday is kind of like a lot easier. I mean, I just do jump rope intervals, you know, I do abs with weight. It's hard, but it's not the same as doing heavy as squats or heavy as dips. So like I said, by doing this, I get the optimal amount. I hit every single muscle twice a week. I get 2 days off, and then I get 2 days off, and then I get 3 days off, okay, in between workouts. So I get the optimal amount of stimulation for my muscle, I get the optimal amount of rest for my muscle, and I get the optimal amount of mental acuity. I could really focus on each body part because I know I just have to get through these 2 sets, or these 2 exercises, and then it's done, okay? So I can force myself to lift heavy and hard for these 2 exercises, knowing I don't have to keep anything in the tank to hit the others. So like I said, like I told this guy, you know, listen, if it works for you, if you're working out 3 times a week and you're getting a great workout, fine, keep doing it. You know, whatever works for you, don't change it if it's working. All I'm saying is, don't play the game of like, I gotta eat more, I gotta work out more, I gotta do more and more and more and more. If there's not a benefit that you're going to have by doing this, okay, if you're not gonna get an additional benefit by increasing the volume, increasing the frequency, increasing the intensity, increasing the calories, increasing the protein, increasing whatever, if you're not gonna get an added benefit, there's really no reason to do that. It would be better for you to find out something that you're missing, okay? And go ahead and, you know, and do that instead, so that you're like more of a well-rounded athlete, or outside of the gym you're more of a well-rounded person. So as I go ahead and you know, think about this. Are you training the maximum amount, or are you training the optimum amount? See you guys in the next video.